What's good, Way Familiar? It's your boy J K-Man, and I'm back at y'all again with another Upgrade Your Game podcast. Now, I know I haven't done one in a while, but I felt like I should switch things up, being that I was a former rap artist and I am a business major, so I needed to blend the two worlds together, because sometimes you hear how the music is getting made, but not how the artist is getting paid. You feel what I'm saying? So let's get to it. So something that happened this weekend caught the world on fire, and that was the Verzuz battle between Cash Money and No Limit. Shout out to the NO. I had fun watching it, and I hope you did too. I also did a recap with my guy DJ Bugsy for I Do It For Hip Hop podcast, and go check that out. There'll be in the link below, so definitely check that out. You heard? So being something that also came out was there was a tweet that happened where, or a comment or something of that nature, with Mercedes. And Mercedes was a former No Limit artist. She was a singer that came out with one album with the label called Rear End back in 1999. She was upset because her song from that album that was very popular called I Can't Tell was done on the Verzuz, and she stated that being that P did not own the song, that it should have went through her to be cleared to be put on there, and she's looking to sue and get some money in them courts. You feel what I'm saying? So let's break that down. So going back to giving it a little bit of history, like I said, she dropped an album called Rear End back in 1999 with that song called I Can't Tell, very popular song. Now, let's go back to how when it comes to recording contracts. So back at that time, she signed a recording contract with No Limit. I don't know the particulars, but usually how recording contracts went back at that time is that you sign for a amount of albums, you are paid in advance, which in advance is the money that the label gives you in order to record the album, all the recording costs, the beats, the studio time, things of that nature. They give you that up front in order for you to record the album for the label. Now, that advance that they give you is usually recoupable. Recoupable means that you guys to pay the label back on them for that advance. You know what I'm saying? So, and usually how they make the money back is, you know, through the sales of the album, the royalties from the sales of the album, and usually that's how you can recoup your advance. And in some contracts, you can, if you make a much, depending on the contract and what they state, how much money that you made on that album, and if you recoup that, usually the masters can go back to the artist. Does it happen? Sometimes, but usually that's how the standard contracts work back at that time. So to me, and like I said, I don't know contracts, I ain't no lawyer, I ain't none of that. But so being that she stated that Master P allegedly doesn't own the song, that would usually mean that she either recouped enough to get her masters back, or P may have just given her a master's back, or she bought, or she usually buy it back. That's usually how it is if they recouped for the album. Being that she's stating that Master P doesn't own the song, then it would have had to have gone through her usually for that song to be done on a public platform like Verzuz. Now, most of the songs that you hear on Verzuz, they usually have to get cleared by the label, because, you know, on a big platform like that, I mean, they want to get paid. So being that she's saying that she owned the masters to that song, it should have went through her to get paid. Now, if you go on like her Spotify, or if you go on like Apple Music, you would see that on there, the album is not through No Limit. It's actually through Flawless Entertainment, which I'm guessing that's her label. The whole album Rear End, the song I Can't Tell, all of that that's on the album is through Flawless Entertainment. So I kind of can lean towards Mercedes saying that she does own the masters and owns that song, because it's put out publicly on her, through her label and things of that nature. Now, the only little caveat that I saw when I actually went on Spotify, the I Can't Tell song is also on the 504 Boys album as well. So that could be a little tricky if she kind of go to court, because the thing is, being that it's also under there, it looks like the 504 Boys is under Priority. Now, Priority was a major label back in the 90s that did a lot of distribution for artists. No Limit was under that at that time, and they did distribute a lot of the No Limit records at that time. So I don't know if there were some type of licensing deal, and what a licensing deal is basically if you own the song, you can license it out to other companies, usually like for like ad, or you know, maybe even for Verzuz stuff, you know, public platforms that play play your music. You can license, they pay some type of licensing fee in order for that music to be displayed on that whatever platform it is. So maybe it's a little bit tricky, only because yeah, she may own the masters, but maybe there's some type of licensing that P had where he was able to get it on Verzuz to be cleared to be shown on Verzuz. Because like I said, most of the music that you hear on there has to be cleared by a label. Just like on the Cash Money side, I'm pretty sure Baby was able to clear all them songs, and UMG, Universal Music Group, who basically distributed for Cash Money, was able to put all that music out through that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing about the part where she's saying about suing. I'm just like, I mean, it had to get cleared to be on there. Maybe it was some type of administration error or something where they may have should have contacted you, but that's all I can say on my end. Like I said, I ain't a lawyer, but I just know how I work a little bit. But so that's how that is for that. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Verzuz. Shout out to Cash Money and No Limit. But I just wanted to get a little breakdown on that. If you got more information and you think I'm completely wrong, comment below if you know more than what I do about the situation. I definitely want to get into the comments and definitely check if I'm wrong. But I just saw that and I just felt like going to speak on it. But shout out to everybody. If you want to see more of this content, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments. And your boy is out. Know that.